There we go. So it's recording now. Okay, so I think everyone sent me the right answer for this, so we won't spend too much time going through it because you knew it was completing the square. And let's have a look. Ayushi, what did you have for A and B in the end then, please?
A equals -2 and B equals 1.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I'm assuming you all know what integers are, but integers just means whole numbers. So that's a good way of checking whether you've got the right answer. If you got something that wasn't a whole number, then go back and look at it again. But brilliant, guys. So the next bit says that the curve with equation y equals f of x, so this, meets the y-axis at a point P and has a minimum turning point at Q. And we need to write down the coordinates of P and Q. So first off, from our equation f of x sent to me, how do we work out the coordinate of the y-intercept? That's what P is. So how do we work out the y-intercept? Or if you just want to send me the answer, if you find it easy, just do that. Okay, well done. So Arian, you sent me 5. How did you know it was 5 or 0, 5?
Just because it's at the end of the thing, and it has no x.
Yeah, exactly. So this is always our y-intercept. And you can also say when x is equal to 0, so on your graph, when x is 0, when it hits the y-intercept, y is equal to 5. So P, our y-intercept must be 0 over 5 up. Okay, the second one is slightly harder. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that and send it to me. I'll scroll down a little bit as well. Okay, well done. Ayushi, Sonali, that's good. So Sonali, how did you know that Q coordinate was 2, 1?
Because when we did the completing the square, so the A was -2, so it would be 2 for the x, and then B is 1, so then 1 would be the y coordinate.
Yep, good, brilliant. So because it's the minimum, we know that happens because it's already kind of helped us out by telling us to complete the square. So we know that happens at 2, 1. Okay, hopefully everyone remembers that little rule and is okay with that so far. I'll keep going unless anyone has any further questions, but these are the nice warm-up ones at the beginning of the paper usually. So it's good that you guys are all finding them okay. Okay, so let's have a look at this next one. So this is, we've got an equation for a sequence. Looks a bit confusing, but hopefully not too bad. So we've got to show, so given u1 plus 2u2 plus u3 equals 0, show that this equation works. So before we start this one, guys, have a think about how you would start off. You already know that u1 is 2, and from this you can work out what u2 is equal to and u3 is equal to. Okay, so for example, I'll do u2 for you. So if n plus 1 is 2, then n is just 1. So you get that. So have a go with u3, and you should put it all together and hopefully get this quadratic. And then we'll go through it when you guys are ready. Okay, so just to make sure, just to double check that we're all on the right track with substituting in this equation. So if u2 is k minus 24 over 2, so if u2 is k minus 12, can anyone tell me what u3 is using u2? Anusha, do you know what u3 is using this equation and u2?
K minus 24 over k minus 12.
Okay, brilliant, well done. So that's just to check you've all got that far, okay? Now you can all put it together, hopefully. Thank you, Anusha. If you want, and you've got it and you're waiting, you can just put in the chat to me or put your thumb up on Zoom, just so I know. Okay, well done, Anusha, that's great. So if you have done A and you believe that you've managed to show this, you can have a look and see if you can find a value of K and think about why that has to be your answer. Okay, brilliant, Tanisha, that's great. Okay, good. So I won't go through part A too much because obviously you know if you've got the answer right. You just do U1, which is 2, add 2 of these, add U3, and hopefully you guys will have spotted that you can times everything by K minus 12 and you get the right answer. So given that, how did you work out, Tanisha, what K had to be? So you should have 2 values for K, but how do you know which one to go for?
Because it says K is an integer. One.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. So you should be able to factorize this equation like this. And as Tanisha has told us, K has to be an integer, so K has to be 6 because the other option is not an integer. Okay, I think everyone got that relatively okay as well. So I'll give those of you who haven't sent me a few more seconds to think about the next one then. So find the value of U3. So now you know K is 6. Remember, obviously I've rubbed mine off, but hopefully you guys have in your workings what U3 was equal to. I think it was K minus 24 over K minus 12 or something like that. Okay, great. So Sonali, what did you get for U3 then, please?
10.
Yep, brilliant. So I think it was this, and you guys obviously just know you just put 6 in, so that becomes, and then 2 minuses turn into a plus. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay, just to check, so if anyone got that wrong, so we just change K into 6, so it becomes 6 plus 24 over 6 is 4, which is 10. Is that okay with everyone? Arian, is that okay with you? See where we got that answer from? If you don't want to speak, you can message me in the chat, Arian. Okay, brilliant. Just making sure that everyone knows. Yeah, with stuff like this, sometimes it's easier to make small mistakes, but the actual method was there. Okay. So let's see, moving on to maybe some getting slightly trickier, bigger marks in the paper as well. So this one looks kind of confusing. We've got an ln here. So the curve with this equation, y equals f of x, where f of x is this, it says it has a single turning point when x is equal to this letter alpha. And we need to show that alpha is a solution of this equaling to 0. So how are we going to show that alpha is a solution of this? Maybe send to me in the chat just so I can check what the first thing you might do to f of x is to figure this one out. Okay, well done, Anusha and Sonali, that's great. Okay, so if you're not sure, what a few people have sent me, so the first step we need to do for this one is differentiate y or f of x. So we need to differentiate this expression. It's a bit of a tricky one to differentiate, but hopefully you guys will be able to remember some tricks to do it. maybe send me what you get when you differentiate it so I can check. And if you're struggling, send me a question mark and I can help. Okay, so just to make sure we're all on the right track, what method are you thinking of using, Tanisha, to differentiate